guys, Prowl 1701 here. Now recently I did a video talking about missing episodes, and I ranked the completely missing Doctor Who stories, all 10 of them, from worst to best in the sense of urgency I had for which stories I wanted episodes to get recovered in. Like which ones, I'll take any episode. I'll take any episodes being recovered. You can give me some episodes of Space Pirates, I'm a happy guy. But kind of from worst to best, or from least important to most important, how I would rank the order that I want episodes returned in. Basically, you know, do I want this story or this story? Which one is more important to me to get episodes returned from? And I did that for all the missing stories, and I think as a bonus I did the mostly missing ones as well, maybe. Or the almost complete ones. I forget what that was, actually. Today I'm going to do the 2 or less ones. That's it. But today I'm going to be ranking the mostly intact stories. 2 or less. Basically stories that have 2 or less episodes missing. Episodes that could be completed with either 2 or less episodes being found. We're going to rank those from least important to most important to me on how I would like an episode recovered for that story. I think I articulated what I'm trying to say well enough there. So I have 9 on the list because I'm counting Mission of the Unknown since it is just one episode, even though I guess technically that story is completely missing. It was on that list too, but I'm going to put it on here too since it is just one episode to have it complete. And I keep wondering if I've missed one somewhere. But I've got 9 on here, and I'll do them from least important to most important on how I want an episode to be recovered for that story. At the bottom of the list, at burp. At the bottom of the list, in 9th place, is the Ice Warriors. I'm just not a big fan of the Ice Warriors. I mean, I'm glad we have most of it intact. It's always nice to have every episode of Troughton we can get, because Troughton's era is so heavily affected by the missing episodes. So it's nice to have this story mostly intact. And it's not a bad story by any means. Most of the Ice Warrior stories, I think, are... I don't think there's ever been an Ice Warrior story that's just a home run, like knock out of the park S2 story. But I don't think there's ever been an Ice Warrior story that's a bad story either. They all kind of fall in the middle somewhere, with my favorite 2 Ice Warrior stories actually probably being both of the modern Who stories, Cold War and Empress of Mars, and my 2 least favorite actually being Seeds of Death and the Ice Warriors, but the Ice Warriors being my least favorite. I actually prefer the Peladon stories over it. It's still enjoyable though. It's good. It's like C tier story. C or maybe D, maybe a little below average, but it's fine. But it just kind of is at the bottom of my list because all of the other episodes are just higher. They're more I'd like to see back. I think the surviving episodes we have convey the story well enough. The animation for it's pretty decent. If we don't get episodes back for the Ice Warriors, I'm like, oh, okay, it works well enough as it is. Even though I wouldn't be upset if, you know, episodes 2 or 3 turned up for it. Next on the list is The Reign of Terror. Now, I like The Reign of Terror a lot. It's more just that the other episodes on this list rank higher because they're more important. The Reign of Terror works just fine with its surviving episodes and the animation. I actually really like the Planet 55 animation. Yes, there's a couple criticisms with some of the editing. I get that. They were rushed for time. But I actually think the animation works really well, to the point to where it's so good that when you get to the surviving episode 6, I have to mentally switch gears back to the live-action footage. But I love The Reign of Terror, and it being animated for 2 episodes has never done anything to diminish my enjoyment for it. So it's just not as high on my priority list as the others. Now, if we get an episode of The Reign of Terror back, perfectly happy with that, of course. But the others on the list are just a higher priority. Next on the list is Mission to the Unknown. I place it just a little higher because I would like to see this one. It's not as vitally important as we do have the remake of it, and we also have the unofficial animation of it, both of which are good, very enjoyable. But I really like this episode in general. I actually like Mission to the Unknown more than I liked Alex Master Plan. It just has a tension and atmosphere to it. And I would love to have seen what the original episode actually looked like for it. I think that would be really neat. So it does bump it does rank slightly higher than a couple of them on this list because of that. I think it would be a really fun episode to watch. But it doesn't rank any higher simply because, one, it has none of the main cast, and two, there are other viable ways to watch it that are just fine. Next on the list is The Underwater Menace. The Underwater Menace is on this high because, one, it's a Trouton. We need more Trouton. And I like The Underwater Menace. I've only watched it all the way through the one time with the black and white animation and the surviving episodes, but I enjoyed it. I think part of it was I knew going in that it wasn't exactly going to be Genesis of the Daleks or Fury from the Deep. Well, if Fury from the Deep had good animation. I knew the story wasn't like an S-class story. So I wasn't exactly going in expecting Caves of Androzani. And I just accepted it for what it was, as a little C-tier, D-tier story. And I had fun with it. It's a little bonkers in places. The animation actually fits with the surviving footage in black and white well enough, despite the animation having some character design changes, which are unnecessary. Oddly enough, I didn't find them as bothersome as I thought I would. And I enjoyed it overall. So I would like to see another episode of it, though, because I think getting episode 2 back of Underwater Menace did bump it up a little bit in people's estimations to what it was when just episode 3 existed. And I think getting another chunk of that back, episode 1 or 4, would again increase the opinion of it just a bit. Not making it S-class or even A-class, but maybe give it a slight more bump. Plus, I think it's an enjoyable story. Next on the list is The Crusade. I like The Crusade. One, it would be nice to get at least one more episode of it, just to have season 2 almost complete. Two, I like The Crusade. It's so frustrating, especially being a David Whitaker script. I love me some David Whitaker. It's so frustrating that what is a good story is kind of cut short by having to deal with the recons on. And the recons are okay, although with part 4, you really do need to have the subtitles turned on so you can kind of follow some of the actions sometimes, you know, the little linking titles. But episodes 1 and 3 are so good. Our main cast and our guest cast are putting in such good performances all around, and I would love to be able to see more of that. To have that at least 3/4 complete would be a real treasure for me. Next on the list is The Moonbase, one of my favorite stories, and it's interesting to me that it ranks 4th. I figured it would be higher. I love The Moonbase a lot. It's a great story. I argue it could be Trouton's best performance in the role. He's great. The surviving episodes have so many iconic moments, although some could argue the most iconic moments from the story, even just going from the audio, is probably from episodes 2 and 4. But they're really, really good. The camera work was really good in that. Now, the animation for it is fantastic. You could argue this is the best animation we've ever had. Planet 55 had really come a long way here. And as much as I enjoy all of their animations, they improved with every one. And I feel like they really nailed it here. The likenesses are really good. The rotoscoping looks great. I really like this style of animation and wish we had gotten that original version of Underwater Menace animated by them like the original plan was. I think it would look better than what we got while still enjoying the animation we got for Underwater Menace. And it never feels jarring switching from the animation to the live action, which is a credit to the animation. But I would just love to actually see more of this story. Be it episode 1 or 3, I'm not particular either way. But to have one more episode in this, what I consider to be a masterpiece story. Fantastic story. One of the best Cybermen stories of all time. I would just love to have another episode in the collection for that. Number 3 on the list is The Invasion, which is probably the best Cyberman story we've ever gotten. And I'm happy with either episode 1 or 4. And again, it has a good animation for those episodes. But I think if the animation was complete, it would easily be the pick over Tomb of the Cybermen for the Cyberman story of the 60s. I feel like Tomb gets a lot of attention simply because it's complete. Whereas it's the only 60s Cyberman story that's complete. And I feel like if The Invasion was complete, it would get more of that. I would love to get at least one more episode back of The Invasion. Either episode is fine. They both have their benefits. Episode 1, you get the introduction, everything going on. Episode 4, you get that wonderful cliffhanger with the helicopter and the ladder. I'd really like to see either one of those. Number 2 on the list is The Web of Fear, partially simply because it is only one episode missing. And getting that episode would complete another Trouton, and we only have 7 complete Troutons, so I love the idea of having another complete Trouton. Especially getting another complete Trouton that's not from Season 6 would be glorious. As much as I'd love to complete the Invasion, of course. And then the Web of Fear is just a good story. And this would be a great story to introduce people to the Second Doctor era if it was complete, because it is scary, it's atmospheric, the sets are well done, it's well written. If they can handle the fact it's a 6-parter, not a 4-parter, this would be a great introduction story if it was complete. Plus, it's the introduction of the Brigadier, and I think a lot of us want to see that. And number 1 on the list, more for historical purposes than my own personal want, is the 10th Planet Part 4. I think just historically we need this one. 1, it would complete the story. 2, it would complete a story in Season 4. 3, it's the first Cybermen story. 4, is the first Regeneration, and it's Hartnell's last episode in the role. And the surviving clips from the episode look good, like a return to form for the story. Because episodes 1 and 2 of the story are really good. Episode 3 suffers a bit from Hartnell being ill, and then episode 4 suffers because it's animated. While still being a good animation, it just, when you got 3 episodes, when you're 3 episodes in, and it looks good, and suddenly you have to deal with an animation for, the final episode, especially being such an iconic final episode, is a tad disappointing. And so I think historically I have to put that one at number 1. Even if there are others on the list that, from a personal standpoint, like, say, if I was going into a bunker, maybe it's an Armageddon attack. The aliens return, but for some reason, as I'm on my way to the bunker, I just happen to stumble across a lost episode of Doctor Who. It fell from the sky. Maybe the aliens had it and dropped it while they were invading. Lord knows by now, after all the invasions, they should have all the episodes. Apparently I am not the best negotiator here. But somehow I can get a hold of a couple episodes. 10th Planet Part 4 would not be the first one I pick. There are others on this list that I would put higher. I would rather have a Web of Fear, or a Moonbase, or a Crusade, or Mission to the Unknown, honestly, over 10th Planet 4. I put it at number 1 because of its historical significance, and because I'm thinking of the community as a whole, and I think that would benefit the Doctor Who community more than the others as a whole. But that's how I rank them. I want to know what you think of this list and how you would rank them. Comment down below, and let's talk about it. Don't forget to click the like button, the subscribe button as well. All the other fun stuff, links to the Patreon are down there, links to the Amazon wishlist, the Amazon UK wishlist, the P.O. box is down there if you want to send any fan mail. I love fan mail. Want to give a shout out to some of the top tier patrons, Colin Coney, Unknown289, Androzani Major, and Finn Perkins. I appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. Most importantly, thank you for watching.